Hey guys, we have a very special episode here. We have Tim Souders of Dyzana Sports. Just a quick shout out to today's sponsor is actually Tim and his company, Dyzana Sports, makers of the new Grind Air glove, the new SF joggers. Wearing a pair of them myself. The only pants that I wear them around the house. I wear them bowling, so you could be chilling with your girl and then take it to the field. And they also just got in some nice snapbacks or anything like that. So anything for your custom apparel needs, hit up Tim at DyzanaSports.com. They got Facebook, they got Instagram. Tell them that we sent you and use code OVERSHOT for 10% off. So help you guys out there. And Tim, just kind of how we start this. How did you get involved in paintball? How did you start with paintball? The typical story. And we'll just let the words take us to where they go.
Yeah. All right. So probably started playing in, I think it was 2001, maybe 2002. It was really early. Started playing with my buddy Chris, who's actually part of Dyzana. You probably see him out of the booth. So we started playing in the backyard, just been back in the woods. And then kind of just did that for like 5 years. Nothing big, just played with yourself or each other. And then in 2006, I started working at On Target in Pemberton. And then right from there, got involved in the tournament scene. We were playing GPLs. I think it was the first year it moved to OXCC. We played there. It's a 7-man and also the Young Guns. And then we were playing MPPL with OTP Elite. And then kind of just went from there. Mainly on OTP teams for most of my career, honestly. I was too busy working at the store and everything. So that's pretty much that. Played a couple of TTPLs, SPPL.
Okay.
Captain Carl's.
Dang. All right. So you started a bit before me. I started in 2005, but I mostly played woods ball. But kind of going back to what you were saying, mostly an on target based guy on target teams and everything like that. So your team was OTP Elite. Was that? I know there's United. So was Elite a different?
No, it's all pretty much the same. So from like 06 to 08, it was OTP Elite, and then it changed to like OTP Red or something. Then it ended up being United. It's pretty much United, same core guys. The Malhams, Joey, Kevin, all those guys. So it kind of it was a couple of Arsenal guys, not the Arsenal, Infamy guys. And kind of that's what United is now.
No, I know. I played them. Oh my God, so many times. We used to play at All Star Indoor, some 3-man.
Yep.
And it was like us and them at like every event. You know what I mean? I know Alan Havoc or whatever his name is. He was on the team and stuff like that. So I mean, OTP United was like our. If we took first, they took second. If we got knocked out in semis, it was them and this All Star 3-man for years. So all right, so you were part of that camp. You came out of there. And I know you said you played some because I've known you for a bit now. I didn't even, I know you were on Elite United and that whole camp, but I never knew. So you played that OTP SPPL that was there?
Not the one in OTP. We did I was on the Saints I was on OTP Elite, and I was on Saints from 08 to 2010, I think, before the team kind of disbanded at that time. And we were playing the Captain Carls. They were playing the SPPL, the TTPL. I didn't go to the SPPL Georgia, but I did play the TTPL at its original site. Actually,
yeah. But did you play? Because I ran into the Saints at the SPPL. There's a New York one up at Jerry's Field, up at Paintball Sports or Cousins New York, whatever it was at the time. So you were a part of that team, but you didn't go to that event?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And then on that TTPL, did you – I know they had a bunch of wonky rules and stuff like that. I know they had like a medic, an engineer. If your gun got hit, they would tape a piece of duct tape on and your gun could work. If you got shot in the arm, you had to like –
it was crazy. Me and Chris we're used to playing GPL and stuff, and like, oh, come play the scenario event. So we go out there and just like completely different. It was madness. It was really fun though, because it was just like completely off the wall. Like, but it was enjoyable. Why I was at that field? That was before it moved to OTP.
What field was that? Was that at
I think it was EMR. I think I don't remember. It was under. All I remember, it was under the power lines, wherever it was.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. I remember seeing some video of like Reservoir Dogs, and it was all like hut
Yeah.
and breaking.
Yeah.
It looked like a
That's what it
SWAT house or some shit. Like,
yeah. I forget what that was. It's like a training center for like police and stuff during the off time. I don't know. I don't even know if it's still around.
I think it was a New Jersey field. I think.
I remember they had to move the TTPL event because the bridge was like completely rotted away or something. But I don't remember. I know it was like up north.
Yo, okay. I know it was a Jersey field,
Yeah.
and that used to have a big game called New Jersey Nom. And I remember hearing some stories. Some dude fell through a bridge, like you're saying, or whatever. And so they had to move it to OTP. So all right, so you've been bumping around OTP, and what got you into doing jerseys and stuff? Because I think from what I originally know, I felt like you were the HK vendor, and then now you have your own stuff. Like, is that not kind of how it happened, or I don't know?
It's kind of so I was working at OTP. I was a store manager, and then I was obviously doing a lot of stuff, and then we started making our own shirts and stuff for OTP, working with Raza and stuff like that. And then we started working with actually another one of your sponsors, 2K Graphics. We started doing the art of our local shirts through them, and then I started working with Doug a little bit, and then I ended up leaving OTP. It was just kind of, it was time. I was there for probably like almost 10 years. So left OTP and then just kind of was like, I'm just going to do my own like clothing line kind of on the side. So I started Dyzana up, and then probably say like a year into it, I was just I was working with the Anthrax. We were doing custom jerseys. I was just doing the designs. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start making our own jerseys. So, I found a factory and we just started doing that. So now we do all the screen printing, embroidery, all that stuff in house. And we do all the jerseys, pretty much anything you can think of. We're doing tents. And we're not only doing it for the paintball, we're doing it for other sports. We're doing it for other businesses. So, but yeah, so it wasn't necessarily with HK. I know I was working with HK. We were doing stuff. I was, helping them sell some stuff on the East Coast. We were trying to do it since I was already there with the Dyzana booths. We were trying to do the HK booths as well at the same time. So just trying to help them out with that. And then when I was at OTP, obviously I was pushing the HK stuff. But yeah, nothing really direct there.
Okay, so you never even designed jerseys for them at all. It was just kind of something like.
Yeah, no, I didn't. We like I said, we used Anthrax for our jerseys from the get-go, but never used HK for jerseys.
So I know kind of some like, or I see Rip, I see some other jerseys up there and everything like that. So who were now when it started? Because I know in the past couple of years it's built up. Even in the past year, I've seen you've gotten a lot of teams more outside the region. Was the first, like, who were some of the early adopters? Were they people that you knew? Like, were they on target teams or anything like that? Or what was
we had Heartless Legion, which was pretty much Rip now. Like some of the guys from Rip ended up on there. They were just kind of playing at OTP. They were just doing small local events. So probably Rip was like one of the bigger teams that, High Rollers has been with me almost since day one. Those guys are awesome. They're still going strong, taking podiums at every event. And, the OTP teams, obviously. So a lot of the OTP teams, the quick shot teams, the guys I know, Black Dog Mafia, when those guys were playing.
I remember them.
So those were the early adopters that helped us get to where we are. And it's just slowly grown from there. With, when you have High Rollers and guys like those guys, like, leading the pack, it catches eyes. So, and then we picked up Regulators, probably like 2 or 3 years in, and those guys, pretty much really got us on the map on NXL and stuff. And it's kind of grown from there. Just the reputation from those guys playing, winning events, their attitudes on the field, off the field, it's been a slow growth, but it's kind of how I wanted it. So.
No, I mean it's definitely good, and that's kind of how I got introduced to you was through Ali and Adrian and the High Rollers and everything like that. And like you said, they're still playing, they're still doing events, they're playing. I knew them back when they were on Mutiny or whatever. You know what I mean? Back when I think Ali played like 1 or 2 times, and then in the past 2 years she's played fucking more tournaments than anybody has. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I think time for that. I don't know. It's crazy.
Man. I mean, no kids. You know what I mean? No kids.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. I think I don't have kids, so I could probably do it too. But it's just she went full speed, full balls to the wall. So I through that, and then through the WTS and now the TSXL, and partnering up on many ventures. So kind of I know we kind of ran through things very quickly there and everything,
Yeah.
but what would be, to me, like, what is your favorite paintball moment, so to say? Like I know a lot of everything that you're doing is tied with Chris. So was Chris like your neighborhood friend? And it's just like, yo, we played against each other in my backyard, then we played a GPL or whatever. But like, why do you play? Or why did you play? Why do you keep going? I know you took some time off, and now I know you played a couple events last year and everything like that. So kind of going, kind of start with that, and maybe eventually speak about Living Dead and everything you're doing over there at OTP.
Yeah. So Chris is so I was actually best friends with his cousin in second grade. And I met Chris, and then pretty much we were doing all kind of sports together, just the three of us. And I think it was either his cousin or Chris pretty much got a paintball gun. It was just like in Walmart gun. We were shooting in the backyard just of the trees, and then we were like, oh, we're just gonna start shooting at each other pretty much. So
of course,
we all got guns that we were rocking, like Kingman Spiders and stuff. I think Angels and Intimidators were like the hot thing then. And we were pretty much just doing that. I remember them going to Atlas before that closed. I think they did a tournament in Atlas. And then, like I said, it kind of was it was slow from there. We didn't really do too much. I think I played at OTP like once or twice before then. And then when I started high school, I pretty much, I knew somebody who was working at OTP, so they got me right in there. And then from there, it was just kind of just going. We did, like I said, we did the GPL, and then I left for a little bit from the OTP teams because I'm pretty sure it disbanded at that time. And then I went to go play for the Saints. We were doing scenario events. We did Captain Carl's. And Chris has pretty much been there through the whole thing. We're always
ride or die.
Every moment, Chris is there pretty much. So, we're playing on the Saints, and we end up. I don't know what happened from there. I think I stopped playing a little bit then, and then I got back on United when it kind of reformed, because it's dead and then it's back alive. The guys are playing strong.
I feel like they wait till they. I feel like they're good in D4, and then like they wait till they'll play an event, they won't do so well, and then a year or two will go by, and then they'll be back up, and you'll see them. I feel like that's what they recently just did that too, and I think
I remember when I came back from the Saints, they were playing. I think they played D2 MPPL in Vegas, and I think we got like fourth. I didn't get a chance to make that event. I forget what was. I'm pretty sure it's just because I had to work at the shop. I could never get out of there. That was like a high, and then after that, it just it just kind of fell off again. But yeah, they're always going back and forth, and then they get bored of it and are too busy. So they got so much stuff going outside lives. It's hard to really But so yeah, I was on OTP pretty much off and on all through the years. That's pretty much all I've really played for seriously, besides the Saints. And then the Saints came back, I think, right after I started the company. That's how I met Adrian from High Rollers. I was coaching them a little bit. It's still not playing. I just didn't have the time with this stuff, and it's so much money to play competitively. And I kind of was in that stage where it's like, if I'm not going to have the money to go full bore or the time to go full bore, then I'm not even going to bother.
Right.
So just, I'm always been in and out of the practices and, knocking off the rust. And then last year, with all the booth help I have, Chris and my wife and Josh all helping with the booth, I was able to get to a couple of big games and stuff and play a couple of tournaments on High Rollers. So I played a little bit more last year than I probably have in the last like 6 or 7 years. So, that was fun. I played, I was a general for Living Dead. That was pretty wild. Also something off the wall. Like, I picked Allie, thank God, for my XO. So she had everything under control, but like beforehand, just all the politics and all the stuff. I mean, the event really starts like 2 months out, whether it's bizarre, like the recruiting and all that stuff and the game plans. So Allie handled all that. So I pretty much just had to show up. But
I always say I would never do any of that stuff. I've been asked. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I just want to come up and shoot people. That's all I want to do.
I love it.
I wanted to just get all the Dyzana teams together. I figured that'd be awesome to get all the Dyzana teams together to play the big game, and it worked. But just all the side stuff, I was just like, you know what I mean? I just want to go out and shoot people. So, which is pretty much what I did, because Waldo actually sat in our tent all day long and made sure everything was going good with the communication. So I would just wander around. So I think Waldo is actually probably the boss of the day besides Allie. So
I'll tell you.
He bossed the shit out of me. He's bossing me around like
I'll
crazy.
tell you this, dude. You know, and for someone, that's how I used to be. I came into this sport as a big game player. Became kind of competitive. Wanted to play woods ball tournaments. That's how I actually got kicked off my first woods ball team, scenario team, because I wanted, and also because, you know, I'm me and my mouth and everything. But
yeah.
So, you know, kind of with this thing, you know, and I brought him and his brother. I brought out an old friend that knows me from my serious scenario. Like, yo, we're not taking lunch break. Pack a granola bar. Like, don't go back to the campsite and get trashed. Like, we got to win this thing. Like, don't be up too late the night before. Everybody get tucked in. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. But, dude, I mean, honestly, so, you know, what's this year going to entail? You know what I mean? I mean, I know I'm ready to go again. I know you are kind of taking a step back to help produce the game, right?
Yeah, so pretty much for the OTP games, I'm helping doing all the marketing and stuff. So now that Josh Gold left OTP, he was doing almost all that stuff by himself. So they kind of made like a little team to do the games to keep them going on their current pace. So I'm pretty much handling most of the marketing stuff, just like designing and the flyers, social media ads and stuff like that. And then game day, I'm pretty much there just with a radio, just walking around solving problems. But still the scenario world with the rules and the missions, it's all clueless to me. So I'm just doing what I can to help keep it going. But, you know, for actual running the game, that's, you know, not my thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you're going to be part of the team in helping taking, because of how Josh's mind works and everything like that. Trying to take Josh's role and putting it into 3 people and kind of spreading it across. Now, kind of reverting back to that game. So was that that was your first time generaling, correct?
Yeah, that was my first time being a general. I played other big games while I was at OTP. Just like I would kind of sneak out the back and take a gun and go play for like an hour before John caught me.
Right.
But still, like, there was no missions or anything. I just went out there, shot some people, and ran back. And that was it. So yeah, this was the first generaling, and the first one that the first big game I even really was paying attention to any kind of thing going on. And it was crazy. I mean, you know, I'm so used to playing tournaments and stuff and how much like work that is. But some of these scenario guys, they put almost in just as much work, if not more, with all the prep and like the game focus. And it's crazy. It's not for me, but it's crazy.
Yeah. So like you said, you know what I mean? This wasn't something, you know, it's, you know, like speedball teams, they'll be practicing the layout 2 weeks before, you know, there's codes, there's breakdowns and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So coming on a scenario side, you're saying it's even more so because this was something 2 months out. I know I wasn't probably on everything because I to be honest with you, I kind of had my way of doing things, and I kind of said, like, listen, don't put me in a group with a lot of people that might be thinking a lot of different ways, because I have my way of doing it. And when Allie came up and recruited me, I was like, listen, I have my way of doing it. I'm like, I can show up and just shoot people. I'm like, but if you want my help, like, this is how I kind of go about things. So kind of, you know, to our listeners that, you know, maybe they're just a rec ball player and they're playing their first big game or whatever. I mean, obviously you can enter it at any level that you want, but kind of just go into, you know, or maybe even some tips for people that are thinking about being a general in a big game. I mean, from what you're kind of saying is like, yo, it's a lot of work. I don't know if I don't do it, but you know, let's say, you know, let's say there's someone in the, you know, the OTP forum, and we're going to bump this out to them, and, you know, something that you can kind of say to them, like, hey man, you know, you want to do it, this is what it entails. These are some tips I have, and anything like that, because, you know, you did win the game.
I did. Yeah. So
we won the game.
Yeah, we won the game. I didn't do much. So yeah, I would definitely recommend. I would recommend getting a whole team together, which is kind of what I went in there, because with everything with the business and all the booth events and all that stuff, I didn't have time to do any kind of prep or anything, and I don't know what I was doing, any missions or anything. So I got Allie, and then I had her kind of form a team. I got like some of my Dyzana captains together, and I kind of made like a council and just let them handle it. And so I would definitely recommend getting a group of guys around you to help, you know, organize things, recruit teams, and then game day also they're helping us. So like, you know, definitely somebody in the tent, in the command tent running comms is genius. We actually had the game after that, which is when I started doing the marketing thing for OTP. The one team really didn't have anybody back at the tent doing comms, and it made a huge difference. Like you got to have somebody back there navigating, directing all the new guys, all the experienced guys, to get anywhere. So yeah, definitely that. And then I guess like the forefront is definitely doing the missions, but like all the stuff in the background is just as important, if not more important. They kind of distract it with the missions and like, oh, this is the big points, but all the little things. I remember there's a couple things that happened at Living Dead that almost threw us off. We thought we had a flag point and we didn't. We're focusing on this huge mission and they're taking our flags behind us, and we weren't even paying attention. So we almost lost the game just over a few little things like that. So definitely paying attention to the full picture and having a team around you, because it's impossible to do it all by yourself. I see some of these guys, you got some big generals going in, their exos, everybody like unexperienced. It's like, yeah, I feel like you got to have, and that's just speaking from my experience. I'm completely, I don't have much experience, but definitely, definitely a good team around you. If you got any kind of weak people around you, like in not fully paying attention, not fully committed either. If you guys are partying the night before and stuff, it's definitely, you're definitely going to show on the field with that. So.
No, I mean, from someone that hasn't been doing it a while or anything like that, that's my biggest thing. I honestly feel the game is won before you even show up.
Yep.
And the game can be lost. The game can be lost at any time, but the game can be won. And it's you're never out of the fight. And like you said, it's just getting a good team around you. And getting everybody involved. I feel getting from just getting a good team and just making sure the people. Like, like, hey, like we had the newbies, like, the newbies want to go and shoot people. So don't send them on the backfield to go radio some mission. Send them to attack. Send the guys with the radios that want to do that. Send the slower guys. Don't tell them they're going to run and get that point. Be like, hey, we're going to go get that point. I sent four speedball kids that are pretty good. And you come up behind them and you do the paint or everything like that. So I think it's just, you need a little bit of everybody and don't be intimidated, by these big teams. Like, do your homework and everything like that. Because I felt like, on paper, if anybody looked, like, I think 80% of our team was speedball kids, and nobody thought. But I think there's enough people coming together to work together for a common goal that it kind of worked out. And like you said, without I think the biggest thing was getting Allie on board. You know what I mean? Getting Allie on board was the biggest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I didn't have Allie, it would have been lost. Everything would have been a mess. She was telling me things that were going on in the background weeks beforehand, like stuff I didn't even know, all the politics and stuff going on, like what everybody was saying and who was with who, and guys that were supposed to be with us that ended up going to the other team.
And in your head, you're like, what?
I'm like, what is like? They're talking about like spies and stuff, and I'm just like, what? Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? I'm used to waking up at 6:00 in the morning, just getting to the field. First game's at 8. We're done by 2. Hopefully,
you're not worrying about someone dressing up in your team's uniform and starting the point with you or something like that, because that's something that would happen at a big game. You know what I'm trying to say? And then I not trying to call anybody out, but I know there was like, because she set me the rules, and my thing is if
Hercules is playing, someone is bending the rules. Hercules is walking around without an R-band. I can guarantee you that,
dude. I mean, dude, I'll try to. I don't. This is what I do when I get the rules. I literally send all the holes in the rules to the game producers because I don't want somebody else to do it. To be honest with you, but if it's there, like if it's day of. I mean, listen, you both played with me. You both know what I'll do anything to win a game. I'll do anything to win a game if I see. But I'll always give the producer or I'll give someone like a kind of like a ref. Like I'll kind of be like, I'm about to do this.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stop me? And if they don't, then I go ahead with it. But so kind of going back on that. So you're gonna be producing. You're going to help with producing. I'm sorry, you're not the producer. You're going to be helping with the command role. So with that being said, does Living Dead have their generals for this year? I know Allie's stepping up to be the general, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I had to turn it over to her, just so I could focus on the marketing and stuff. And just, it was crazy. It's in good hands. Like I said, she was pretty much a general last year. I was just there as the face. So, yeah, I'm hoping all the Dyzana teams come out to support her as well. The generals for the other side, I feel like we have them locked down, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
The
I don't think it's public knowledge yet.
No, yeah, the COVID-19 thing has just thrown everything.
Off,
we just canceled the first event, and we're trying to get Living Dead, hopefully the biggest one yet. And just
that was
on
Arkham 3, right? The one you just canceled.
Yeah, it was Arkham 3. So they decided to go back with the Arkham game, which is unfortunate we couldn't do that. So we switched from the Heroes vs. Villains, did the Arkhams, and we're doing Living Dead 7, which is early September, I believe, and then after that we're doing Winter Brawl, which is really cool, which is something I'm interested in. It's got a mix for speedball and woods ball, so it's going to be very intensely speedball. Speedball guys are going to have something to do all day long, separate from any of the scenario stuff. So they are going to bring the speedball field into it. I don't want to say too much, but it's going to.
I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued, dude. I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah. So and then I believe the final battle, I'm pretty sure we're going to put both speedball fields together, drop the middle net, and just like a giant battle, similar like LVP does in Hatfield, and do a big battle that way. But we wanted to.
That actually sounds fire.
Yeah, so the game, it's a winter game. Everyone wants to have fun. It's the end of the season. It's after World Cup and stuff. So we wanted to give the speedball guys something to do that was actually like worth it besides doing missions. So they're going to have to bring those speedball skills to the game and they're going to be earning points while everything else is going on. So
bring everybody together.
Yeah, so they're still working on all the details and rules and stuff for that. I'm giving my input from the speedball side of it, but it's going to be fun. And I think the missions for the actual scenario game are more laid back. They're trying to keep it kind of fun. I did the snowman for the logo, trying to give it that fun vibe. So, it's pretty much exactly what it's going to be, just a brawl with hopefully bringing everybody together. So,
no,
man,
awesome.
That's great, dude. I'm kind of intrigued and everything like that. I always say that, it's definitely different from when Josh, ran it. It was more intricate and stuff like that, the Living Dead. But I do feel because there's big games and then there's scenario games. Because to me, a big game is there's flags, there's this, there's that. A scenario game, there's a theme. Living Dead, there's zombies, there's missions, there's food, there's this, there's end of the world stuff. What's his face? Oh my God, who's the dude with the Gatling gun?
Nemesis.
Nemesis, stuff like that. So it's one of my favorites, and I try to get people. I got him. I'm trying to get some other, speedball guys, my friends on Master Blasters Pro and stuff like that. We actually had a guy, Mike, who did the Kill for Less joggers with you. So he stopped by to pick those up the night before, and I'm like, yo, let's steal his keys because he's supposed to be at practice tomorrow. Come play the game. So he played Living Dead for the first I would say about hour, right? Yeah, like the first hour. And then I didn't see him. And then like I get off the field because me, I was in the base the whole day or whatever, doing my thing. And I'm like, yo, where's Mike? And they're like, oh, he's only been here an hour. I'm like, oh, all right, I hadn't seen him. And I go back to like where we were parked, the campsite, which they parked in Guam because they're not sociable people on my group, but whatever. I go over there and I see him filling his pots. I'm like, what? I'm like, did you leave? He's like, yeah, dude, I left. The practice was over. I came back. I just got here. He's like, I heard there's a final battle, bro. I'm ready to go. This kid just, he just loves paintball, man. So that was great, man.
That final battle was probably the most fun final battle I ever heard.
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah,
Dylan and I were on this big tire, and he was looking out one side, and he was looking out the other, and we were just mowing people down. It was nuts.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. I mean, there had to be at least like 200-300 people in that little final battle
area. Yeah, it was insane.
I think they got like 850 for the game total, and then
Well, yeah, I mean, I know because we went original. Like I went to either the second one. I helped again with command with that, but I know. I felt like it was like at 1,000, then it dipped to like 400, and then like this past year, like you guys got a lot of people because I know that was a big reason why I said something. I said to the ref, I was like, "Yo, man, like I know Allie and Tim brought a lot of people here that never been here. Like, I don't know. I had a problem with one of the things, and they corrected it. OTP staff was on the ball after that, but and then the ref did a great job. I got a little hot headed, but again, I felt like you were more, more of the numbers, but right? There was a big jump from the previous year to this year as far as numbers.
Yeah. So the first year was the biggest one, which was right around 800, 750, 800.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the first one was the big one, and we did the most promotions for that. That was when Josh first came on board. I believe it was his first event, and we had a team surrounding him that was kind of doing marketing at the field, marketing online. I was doing all the banners, so that was biggest. And then it probably, it was like 650s, and it slowly dropped down. I think last year, not last year's game, the one before that, I want to say it was like 550 maybe. So it always kind of stayed at a 500 person game, if not more.
Right.
But yeah, this one was right back to the first one's numbers, if not better. I don't know the exact numbers in general, but I'm pretty sure it was close, if not better. The first one we had a surprise. I know there was like a school bus that showed up. We had given out so many free passes the first game just to get the people there. So this one, I know they weren't really doing too much of that. The Generals had some free passes to use. So from their perspective, I guess it was a better game because it wasn't as much.
It was more profitable. It was more profitable, so to speak.
Yep.
Even if it was less players, it was probably more profitable.
Which was a huge achievement. I know for OTP guys, I know Bruce and Flippy, they both, were working hard on the missions and stuff. And I was doing what I could to help with the marketing and stuff, but I couldn't help with any of the rules or missions or anything like that. Not that I really knew anything because I was already the general and stuff. So they were handling all that. So they did a great job with day of stuff. When I found out, the secret missions and stuff they had worked up and all that stuff. It was really cool to do, and they ran the game great day off too. Bruce is on top of everything, so Josh is definitely not somebody you can duplicate. He's got a mind that runs wild, but they're doing it. I think they're doing a good job with what he had left behind to try and keep it going, and put new ideas. I don't think they're as detailed as Josh was, like you were saying. He had all this crazy stuff going on in the background and stuff. I know they're trying to simplify the games. Just to make them a little bit easier for the new guys to come and play, but also make it interesting enough for the experienced guys to have fun. So, they're trying to find that balance. I think
that's always how it is. It's got to be a good balance and stuff like that. And it's definitely hard. And and coming from people that haven't, like you said, you're not a scenario guy by heart. Not, Bruce and Flippy, they're trying to do. It's you three guys are trying to do your best with the limited knowledge that you have from doing stuff like this.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like, and maybe I could be wrong. I mean, Josh might be, to me, like, I feel like maybe he was a Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop game player. Because that's a lot of the people that are very good at that kind of stuff. That's where they come from.
Yeah.
Me, I started scenarios back when there was all that crazy shit. There was spies. You would get a card and mine, it's the game's freaking, whatever, spacemen or whatever. You're an astronaut and you're 007, you're a secret agent or whatever. And you would play that role and only, you and the game producer would know it. And there would be like some secret thing there. Like also you have, you're a medic, but a medic can also heal other medics, which that wasn't in the rules. Like, but if you read your card, like crazy stuff like that. So coming from a guy that's done tournaments and guys that, are doing, the day-to-day business at the field and stuff like that, I felt, I definitely felt that they were trying, and that's why I give them their props. I definitely give them their props. Like you said, nobody's going to replace Josh or anything like that.
Yeah. And Living Dead was already planned before Josh left. So I know John had reached out to me. I did speak to Josh and stuff because I originally reached out to Josh to become the general. I was like, trying to get all the Dyzana teams together. It's going to be a fun event, especially since I helped run the first couple, from OTP, from OTP's side of things. And so I was like, oh, it'd be cool. And I signed on. He was like, oh, great. And then, probably like maybe a month and a half later, he was like, oh, I'm going, we're going to Texas. I got a job and stuff. So it's kind of like, all right. So John recruited Bruce and Flippy and stuff. So I kind of trying to do what I could to help the marketing of it. Cause I'm like, I'm going to do the general thing. So I was doing stuff for both sides. I was originally making flyers for me to do, to recruit and stuff. But I saw there was a lack there on OTP side, so I gave the generals their own copy, like their own versions of what I was designing. trying to help them out. So for the promotion side of it, I know me and Allie did a lot of it, and Solo and Jason, we really helped like bring the game together. Without the generals that we had, that game probably wouldn't have got to its point. Just because
Bruce, fierce.
Yeah, Bruce and Flippy were so focused on trying to get it to where it was workable. Within trying to make it new, but also not overcomplicated things because it was our first event they were running. And then it's not even like most guys, they start off, they're doing like a 200-person event, a 300-person event. They got a whole team working with them, and just Bruce and Flippy and a bunch of OTB reps with 800 guys. So it's like, it was definitely intimidating for them. I know that. So I was trying to make it as easy as good as a general on them, but you and Allie were really throwing everything at them. They were running around crazy.
They're like, Allie, what the fuck? I could have never thought of this. What are these idiots thinking?
Yeah, Allie's like yelling and screaming at everybody. So they did a pretty good job with that. So, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm mainly just doing the marketing things, but I'm excited with what they're doing, working towards this year's event. I know Arkham's, they had a lot planned, so it looks like it canceled. But I think with Living Dead being their second one, going off what worked, and not much stuff didn't work, but what worked. And then I think they're going to try and complicate it a little bit and add more details and stuff like that to make it fun. So, I know OTP is always doing stuff with the fields. John's always working on the stuff. So he's doing stuff now to the fields for Living Dead, digging back in the woods and stuff, really trying to open up the back end. So, if anybody hasn't been to Living Dead, I would definitely suggest going this year.
We'll be there. Their next scenario? Like the next one after COVID is going to be Living Dead?
Yeah, as long as that doesn't get canceled. I think it's far enough out. We should be good. But
fingers crossed, but I would hope so too at that point. Jeez.
Yeah. So that should be the first one after that. All the focus is on that. I have most of the marketing stuff done. Just got to lock down everything, and I know they're already working on the rules and stuff. And John's already working on the field, so it should be hopefully the biggest one yet. So.
Yeah, I saw him out on the, they're up on the Facebook and the Instagram. I see that he's out there, taking advantage of this. It sucks that, they're down and the fields are down right now, but it looks like he's taking advantage of this time to do some improvements, man. And that's what I like to see out of a field is to, continuously improve, continuously work, continuously, earn that dollar,
Yep. Yeah.
Time and time again.
Stop. Yeah, he doesn't stop. He's out there 7 days a week, changing the fields, moving around. Most of the guys don't even notice, the weekend guys, even the scenario guys, they don't even notice everything. But like he's moving bunkers from field to field, digging new holes and stuff. And it's all like minor stuff, but it adds up. And
I've been playing there on and off, probably since 2008 or whatever. I probably play there once or twice a year for the big games or whatever. But I've noticed time and time again, because I think where AutoZone used to be was like a blueberry patch or something.
Yeah.
The one time I went there and John and I just remember being there in one of the big games, and the refs like, someone came out and they're cursing. They were like, "Get the F out of the blueberry." I was like, "Dude, don't leave these. Like, dude, you're growing blueberries and I'm playing, man. If it's on the field, I'm playing it." And they're like, "John's gonna be tight, bro. We're gonna harvest those or whatever, man, or something like that." But
he had blueberry bushes everywhere. So now they're in the back behind, but they were all throughout. So it's crazy too. I mean, if you see the pictures, I don't think they're online, but at OTP, like that whole thing was blueberry bushes and like a mud road. So I remember John, Hector, Kevin from Infamy, like all those guys. They kind of it's pretty wild what it is now or what it was. It was just swamplands. So even just getting the road, John says all the time, like he would have to, they would let everybody park probably on like the main road there, and they would have to go pick them up in a truck because their cars would get stuck in the mud. So it's like, it's crazy what it is now.
No, they've definitely built it up, versus, I feel like they're a paintball park versus like a lot of the fields. And, to me in New Jersey, New Jersey's got a lot of fields. There's a lot of like, a guy bought 12 rental guns and it's playing in his backyard, and he's looking for some beer money on the weekends versus I think OTP, OXCC, they're paintball, they're parks. They're not just, it's like your local fair versus, Six Flags or something, you know what I mean? That's how I always equate it to and everything like that. So definitely looking out to go to OTP. we were talking. I probably mentioned this game at least every podcast or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, you pro guys play any scenario games?
Yeah.
And I'll bring it up. It's my favorite one. I'll definitely be there. Someone told me I should go against Allie. I'm not going to do it because I'll tell you I'll win, and when she hears this, she's going to say no, but whatever. We'll duke it out. But kind of going back to, I know you said, do you have plans to? I know you played with high rollers a couple times last year. Now I know you kind of always been symbiotic with them. You've helped Adrian and some of the guys in the past when they were on the Saints. You said you were coaching them. So I mean, how did that come to fruition? Because I rolled up there, because they were like Allie and was like, we need some help or whatever. I think it was like the day before, the night of, all of a sudden I roll up, you're playing, Chris is playing. You guys haven't even played in years. Chris is buying like a pod pack and a mask in the pro shop. And I'm like, all right, and then they had Monica from Jesters. So, I mean, how did that end up happening?
So haven't played at all. I think the last events I played since then was with United at a quick shot event. We got first, I think, in a 5-man. I think it was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first event I played since then, tournament-wise. Allie reached out to me, I feel like a week before the event, and it was just like, hey, we're having a little problems, like, any chance you can play, maybe? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I was going to set up a booth, but yeah, I guess I could play. Just let me know.
Right.
And it was, she was still working everything out. I didn't actually get, like, anything like confirmative until the night before, pretty much. She was just like, hey, can you still play tomorrow? And I'm just like, yeah, I guess. Let me just tell my wife. Hopefully I'm not in trouble. So yeah, I'm pulling out the gear bag, like, all the batteries are dead. And Chris is, like you said, Chris is buying stuff at the store. We had to get our IDs. I think the morning of us were waiting in line, like all that stuff I didn't miss. And so that's pretty much how it came. So I don't remember what we placed that event, but me and Chris did actually pretty well. I feel like we're not playing or practicing for years.
For years, I was there, and you guys, we definitely made it out. I know we made it out of prelims. It was also probably the hottest freaking event on record. It was like 102 degrees on the turf, and no, I felt like you guys played pretty good. There was a little bit of a missed cues here and there, whatever like that. But I mean, it was more so because it was a throw together and anything like that. I felt the team did well. You guys ended up getting kicked out by Taco Del, right?
Taco Del.
Because I know Taco Del's one of your teams as well, and they were a bunch of those guys were RIP guys too. So, funny story with that. They asked me for an Allen key, and I was like, "No, I can't give it to you." They're like, "Bro, come on." I'm like, Allie will murder me. I ain't giving you. First of all, whoever I'm here with is who I'm here with, and And then I remember, they had actually, because they had Sean Henderson, who used to play on Pro and Bad Company, and then my boy Dave Brady, and I remember Sean being like, "Yeah, man. I mean, I would do the same thing, but fuck you, bro, or whatever." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, man, or whatever." So, and they ended up. I mean, listen, if you're gonna lose, you might as well lose to the team that wins it.
Yeah, that's what I told them.
But they had a good team, and I felt like you and Chris guys. I mean, dude, I was kind of amazed because I was like, oh, these dudes.
I didn't even see
Chris
the
got
layout.
down. Chris got down.
I didn't even see the layout. We didn't even look at the layout. Like, we literally just showed up and was just like, all right, this was cool. And then they're telling us the names like right as the first match is starting. So it's like we didn't even have time to memorize it. So we were just kind of going with it. I feel like we did better that way as well. Like, you know what I mean? We were just kind of just winging it, just having fun.
You just play paintball.
It was just loose, man.
Allie's status pretty quick, like later in the day, which is good because it was really hot. But it was going good.
No, it was good. I mean, I feel like, and I think Mikey fucking ended up having to leave early or something. It was a whole mess, man. It was a whole mess. But honestly, the reason why they were the North Series champs, though, is because they showed up to that event. Because if they didn't show up to that event, they wouldn't have been the North Series champions. And realistically, the reason why that Taco Dill didn't end up being the series champions is because they missed an event at OXCC. So I know, while the high rollers, I think they only podiumed once, but they were at every event and they were always in the top 6, in the top 5,
Yeah.
and in that. So they ended up becoming the North Series champions. Now, did you play any other events with them? Because I feel like I saw you in another picture. Did you play another EPL with them?
Yeah, I think I played one more. There's so much stuff that goes on in 1 year. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I played one more. Similar circumstances, just kind of like, hey, let me know if you need me for the next one. And then, so I did end up playing that one. I don't think Chris played that one. Same thing. I didn't look at the layout or practice or anything. I didn't have time for that. But yeah, I want to say we definitely made it past prelims, but I don't think we podiumed that one. So
yeah, you were just an extra. You're an extra body there for things and everything like that.
Oh yeah, I did play. Yeah, because the second event I played, we had Joe Barron with us and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that was the same one with Monica. So
no, that wasn't because Joe's D3 and Monica's D3.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So,
I know Joe's been a big help to the team and everything like that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I did play another event with them, and that was probably it, I think.
So it's the season. Right, 2 EPLs and Living Dead.
A bunch of scenario events. Yeah, I played Living Dead, and I played a Splat of Ween at OCC Hatfield.
Okay.
I was the XO, I think, for that one. Yeah.
Or the general, you don't even know. I was there for that one too.
Yeah.
With Jason,
Yeah, I was completely lost there. I never played there before.
Dude, I hadn't played there.
EPL.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I played there when it was called LVP.
Yeah,
EPL like 2010. I don't even remember, dude.
Yeah. I was playing LVP, EPL. That's only I didn't even know they had woods ball fields until pretty much
we rolled up
recently. Yeah, so it was pretty muddy some spots.
No,
sorry.
No disrespect to the field, man. I mean, I feel like now I remember why I haven't been back there in 10 years, but whatever. We had a good time. We shot people. We rolled out a couple times. You, me, and his brother Dylan. Was actually the other guy that we were with. So whatever.
Yeah, no, it was a fun one. It was definitely it was fun to play and not be the general, for sure. So I could just go out there and shoot people. And it was a laid back event. Big E runs that, so it was pretty laid back. It was kind of fun. I just went out there and shot people. Like I said, it was muddy. There was definitely some tension between the teams. I know it's pissing a few people off, but it was a good event for being. I mean, the field's pretty small, so I mean, the amount of people that was there was kind of perfect for that field. So
right, anything, and you're not going to get a Living Dead type of game there because that and that's also the other reason why, like you said, like you were an XO, but the way that the game was structured, the way the field is, the way the whatever, for your first big game to be Living Dead, that's the Living Dead, an Ion, a Cousins big game. They're on a mega scale versus you doing that LVP game would be like you doing maybe the Winter Brawl game where it's not you're not commanding 400 people. There's maybe 300 people there tops all together, and the field's smaller and the game's a little bit. So definitely going from one extreme to another, and you like you said, you're like. I was running a booth, in 2018, 2019. I played two tournaments and ran 2 big games and whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's also why. Do you think that kind of like helped getting you out there as far as like, being at the because I mean you're at EP. I've seen Chris is at the EPL while you're at the OTP game. Do you feel like going to these events because I've had vendors come to my events and stuff like that. And, not saying you're not making a killing, vendoring at the events or anything like that. But I think the relationships that you gain from being at that event is, you'll get in contact, some guys like, oh, I was thinking about starting a team. Let me go. Yo, you guys do jerseys. And then you're like, all right, then you make, like I had Eric from Evil Gerbil. He would come to my events. Maybe he was selling 1 or 2 headbands and dude, you're not gas, hotel room, food, whatever. But then the next event, I see teams with custom, 4 or 5 teams with custom headbands and custom, camouflage jerseys or whatever. So, I don't know, man. Kind of speaking on that, do you always feel like you're going to have a vendor presence? Do you think, obviously with this COVID and everything like that, stuff will definitely change. But I mean, do you feel like the vendoring thing is something that Dyzana will always have a staple in, or do you think it's something on a wait and see? You know what I mean? Especially, and have you ever even thought about doing? I mean, I don't know. And NXL is a lot of money to be a vendor, but I mean, I mean, is that something that you would ever even think about doing? Or, I mean, me personally, I would never do it, but
yeah. So we plan on doing booth events still at the locals. We try to get to as many as we can. We have a small crew. Chris has done some of the events by himself, which definitely helps get us to multiple events. So we're definitely going to do some events, hopefully this year, as long as this COVID thing, lets up. We try to get to most of the big games, the EPLs and stuff like that. We did think about doing NXLs. It is a lot of money. We tried and do Philly last year, but they have real weird rules with their like sponsor stuff. Like you got to sponsor the season, they get certain boosts and stuff like that. So probably not for NXLs, but we do definitely want to get some more events. And I'm trying to currently get other like regions. So we're trying to get the regulators. Hopefully they can do a couple boosts for us down south. They're like in the DC, Virginia area, some of the EPLs that are down there that we don't get to go to. And we're going to try and maybe do D-Day I think is canceled, but we're trying to do events like that. So, besides just the booth and the vending, we try to support the teams. Obviously, we don't make guns or anything, so it's not like tech support or anything. But we just try, they need help film pods. They, just there for moral support. We're trying to, just do whatever we can just to show support for our teams, new teams that might, decide to go with us. And, it, like you said, it does get, getting custom jerseys, custom headbands, guys that are seeing you at the events, maybe they buy a t-shirt or something. So it's not really like a huge money maker, obviously. You're lucky if you break even, really, for your travel costs and stuff. But, without Ion and stuff like that, the boost we did, we probably wouldn't be where we are today. So, but yeah, we're still, no matter what, we try and get out to events. Even if we don't have a booth, we try and get a guy out there. Like I said, film pods. I flew down to World Cup literally just to, support the regulators in the pits, bomb squad. I was just there helping whatever I could do, just kind of showing them, we care about our team. So we try and keep we try not to pick up every team that, is out there. We're not trying to do like, where you got to buy into the program and you're sponsored like that. We try and select our teams and we try to take care of them as much as we can. Obviously we're just a clothing company, a custom jersey company, but we try, and do our best to support the teams and whatever we can do. I know regulators, the one year they didn't have any pods at the event. So, I bought them a bunch of pods while they were down there remotely and stuff like that. So we try and do what we can. But yeah, we'll always have a presence at events, either with a booth or with our guys there just hanging out. If we need to play an event, like high rollers set, you know what I mean? We'll do whatever we can to help our teams. That's about it, really.
No, man, I just got to say more on, on a personal level, I've seen you again at events, like you said, you played with the high rollers. I saw you at Philly, you came up and asked if we needed help. It wasn't a advantageous situation for you to walk into, but, definitely saw you guys at events, man, slinging, shirts out at the stuff. But I mean, to me, that's how paintball started. Like that is the real paintball, nothing against the big corporations or anything like that. But to me, this is a mom and pop organization. It's you, it's Chris, it's your wife, really. I mean, is there, like you said, I think you said the guy from regulators helps a little bit on the salesman end, but I mean, realistically, it's you, Chris, and your wife doing all this work. You know what I mean? Yes, there's a factory making, jerseys and stuff like that, but you're there sewing, you're there taking the orders, you're there answering the phone calls and stuff like that. So just, me kind of, again, thank you for the support that you've given me. You've given Overshot, you've given the TSXL and all my different projects, because I know I come up with.
You got a new one every year.
I got a new one every year, man. But kind of the next one's a kids paintball camp. We're going to be doing that, but just taking it from, my thing again at the end of the day is I want to take a player from A to Z, and again, you're. It's all of us working together and everything, especially after this. But more so than everything, man, I'm going to say it. I think GI is going to be able to weather the storm a little bit better than Dyzana Sports is. So anybody that's listening to this, definitely, contact him. If you guys need anything, tell him I sent you or anything like that. And, we appreciate having him on. Again, Tim, run through where they can find you, your email, cell phone, pager. No, I mean, pager's not a thing anymore, but definitely plug in everything that you can, where the people can do any products that I missed. I thought I was pretty much on the ball with that, but definitely, and any plans, I don't know, a sneak peek or any plans that you guys have. The one thing I would recommend is if you could get to, if Iron City Classic ends up happening in Pittsburgh, I would definitely recommend that event because that's like the Woodstock of paintball. 72 10-man teams sold out in 4 minutes. I know they're going to have 5-man. And I from what I know, the vendor spot is they don't charge you for a vendor spot. So definitely,
I did want to get out there.
Definitely be out there. We'll be out there.
It's a good time.
We're thinking we're going to bring the podcast.
Year, but I wasn't doing it.
Oh, what team?
Allie asked me the night
before. Dude, you missed out, dude. They had a killer team, bro.
I know, but it was like the night before. I'm like, you want to drive me to Pittsburgh? I'm like, the wife is not going to let that happen.
It's a good thing you didn't, because then I would have had to beat you and it would have made this whole thing awkward.
Yeah. And it was like a night or two before. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, Travis it was basically between Travis's team and her team for the final spot in their bracket. And let's just say, I think Travis, did you shoot up Adrian or did Dylan? I don't know, man, but
I don't know. I bunkered like the last 4 or 3 people out. I definitely bunkered Scott out because he's pretty obvious. You know what Scott looks like.
Who's Scott, bro?
Scott Barnett. He's like 6 feet taller than everybody else.
Mike Scott.
Mike Scott. And his arm looks like my thigh.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So yeah, Tim. All right, man. Hopefully we see you at ICC. But I hear your dog going crazy over there. But
Yeah, what kind of dog you got? Because I know that some of the listeners are dog fans. What kind of dog you got? And is he a
Jack
Russell?
Boy? His name is Jake. He's a Jack Russell. He actually, he's wild. Obviously, he's a Jack Russell. He's loud. He actually got chewed up by a Pitbull Rottweiler probably like a month ago. So luckily, he's doing pretty good.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that.
He plays around the warehouse all day long. He's got plenty of room to run.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, so where can people find you? And if you want to do, a secret product drop, something you got cooking in the works, I mean, then you got the platform to do it.
Yeah, so DyzanaSports.com is the website. We also have Dyzana.com. We just launched for our business customers and stuff like that. We do screen printing, embroidery, promotional stuff. We're doing a couple jobs for the Army right now, some of the local deli, stuff like that. You can also email me at info@DyzanaSports.com and orders at DyzanaSports.com. If you want to email my wife, she's really good at customer service, Mandy at DyzanaSports.com. New products. We have new gloves coming in this week. They are the Grind Air gloves with some new colorways. We're doing a black and a tan. So we'll be releasing those on the website. We are working on some new jogger designs. We have SF joggers coming in, another stock of those hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks. The factory's still kind of catching up on all the backlog. Other than that, we're working on a bunch of new casual stuff, hats, new designs. I do have some plans for some other products in the works. Apparel, padding, stuff, but nothing I'm ready to release yet. I don't want to.
Elbow pads.
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to tease anything too far because then I have to commit to it. So the funny thing is, after our joggers, we actually started, side thing. We actually started the jogger project probably 3 years ago in 2017. Chris was like, "Yo, we got to do some joggers," because he's wearing like casual joggers all over the place. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna stick. So I had some of the Rip guys testing out these jogger pants I was working on. And then eventually I was just like, yeah, Chris, you're crazy. We're not doing these jogger pants. So we ended up not doing them. And then HK ends up releasing these jogger pants. And these guys were wearing them on the field and stuff. So I literally I pulled out the old files and, made it happen.
Print, send them out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was like, holy crap, it worked. So, Chris got some bragging rights on that I was wrong.
I got 2 pairs. I love them. I wear them all the time.
Yeah, they definitely a hot ticket. So we're trying to do as many designs as we can, really, and then also the custom joggers. So we're doing, a 5-piece minimum, no design fee. We pretty much include all of our design fees in any team orders. So if you want custom joggers, jerseys, anything like that, reach out to me. We do a screen printing, embroidery, going in business, or you want to get shirts for your teams, just reach out.
All right, guys, man, that's it. That's everything for Tim and everything like that. We'll definitely have to, catch back up with him throughout the year and everything like that. Thank you guys for listening. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review, and we'll catch you on the field hopefully soon enough with all this COVID. Peace out, guys.
Later.
I'll have the rest